We've been calling this science of deliberate creation, meaning more and more you are coming to the place where you are deliberately offering your vibration. But of course that means you must first understand that you are vibrational beings. And you have to have some mechanism that helps you to understand what the vibrational content of your offering is. We'll talk about all of that here today. Of course, you are coming to know that by paying attention to your emotions or by paying attention to the way you feel, you are getting a very clear indicator of what your vibrational offering is. We want you to be aware of your vibrational offering while it is in the emotional stage, rather than waiting for it to be in the manifested stage, although that works too. You can pay no attention whatsoever to the way you feel. Just offer your thoughts and therefore feelings or vibration all over the place, and the universe will match you with perfect matches. And as you receive the manifestation, you can say, I would have rather this truck did not fall on me. And then it is a little bit more time-consuming to bring yourself back to your fully unflattened state. Although it can be done, it is cumbersome. You are extensions of source energy. And the more you are allowing the fullness of your source energy to flow through you, the more you thrive. The source energy is likened to your electricity that flows through your walls. And some of you are having rolling blackouts. Thousands of them the other day. Got her attention. Whether you are an alligator or a human, not only in your houses, focused, but in your day-to-day experience, as you desire, and when you ask, that you use as your excuse to pinch yourself off. This workshop is not about from the source energy that is you. It would be like plugging in your appliances and having only a half of the electrical current, and your lights are flickering. Sometimes they are on, sometimes they aren't. You go to use your buzzsaw and it won't saw, it just turns slowly. And you say, I'm wanting to be hooked up to a stronger grid. I am wanting purer electricity to flow through my system. And we say, and that is what we are wanting for you individually. We are wanting you to discover how to clean up your vibrations so that there is not so much resistance within you, so that you can be the fuller receiver of that which you're asking for. And it is not a difficult thing to do once you are understanding the process. There are three things that would be of value for you to be aware of relative to this creative process. Two of them are already taken care of without your attention at all. And so the third thing is what we will be talking primarily about today with you, because it is where your emphasis is best suited. In other words, as you pay attention to this third thing, everything about deliberate creation will flow easily for you. The first point in this three-point system is ask. Well, you can't help but do that. Cellularly, deliberately, in other words, on many levels, you are asking. It is the natural byproduct of you moving through a contrasting experience. You cannot help but come to conclusions or determinations of preference. It just happens. So the asking is a natural thing that's happening within you. The second point is that which you're asking for is given. And it always is. In the moment that you identify it, the universal forces, whether you call it creative life force or God force or all that is force, answers. Ask and it is given every time. So those two things you don't need to work on because they've already been set into motion. It is the natural byproduct of this expanding universe of which we are all a part. The third point is what we are wanting you to pay more attention to these days, and that is making sure that you are in the receiving mode. Because you can ask and the universe can yield to you, but unless you are in the receiving mode, the manifestation that you choose cannot be completed in the way that you are asking. Jerry and Esther have a motor coach you have undoubtedly been hearing about if you've been listening to us at all. Big part of their experience these days. And on the top of it is a satellite dish. So when they come to a new city, Esther will say to Jerry, "Where is Houston?" Because the satellite that sends the signal to their satellite dish is somewhere over Houston. And Jerry will say it's that way, or it's that way, or it's that way. And that helps Esther to realize whether there is a tree in the way, or a building in the way, or something in the way. It gives her greater expectation of receiving her signal. So once she can see that there is a clear line of sight between where she thinks the satellite is in the sky and where she knows her dish is, then she looks on a little chart to evaluate the elevation and sets her dish in motion, and they can hear it. It begins its search for the satellite in the sky. It turns around and around and around and around until it locks on to the signal. If it is not in the right receiving mode, in other words, if she has it set on the wrong elevation, then that little dish will just work its heart out. It will spin all through the night looking for the signal. It will make effort beyond your wildest dreams, but it will not lock onto the signal because it is not set in the receiving mode. We see you like that sometimes, where you make effort, you try hard, you give it all you've got. Through your action, you really go after these things that you want, but you don't lock onto your signal because you are vibrationally apart from it. We're wanting to help you to realize that it is not about action, it's about feeling your way to the signal. Now, Esther discovered something quite interesting. She can turn her little satellite loose. In other words, she can tell it no elevation at all. She can set it at 0, 0, which means I am not attempting to limit you in any way. And now that little dish will search the entire sky. Takes quite a long time, but it eventually will lock on if it is within view. So what we're getting at here with you is this gathering is about helping you to remember how to feel your way into vibrational harmony with your source energy. Your emotions tell you everything that you're wanting to know about your relationship with source energy. Your emotions let you know how focused the source energy is within you. Of course, you have access to all that is. So when you have identified that you want something and you focus in on it more specifically, it's like taking a broad spectrum of light and bringing it into a narrower band. It's like taking a broad body of water and focusing it through a more narrow channel. When that happens, it gives the sensation or the feeling of the energy moving faster. So the more focused your desire is, the faster the energy moves within you. And when energy moves faster, your emotions are higher or greater. When you really, 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 really want something, when you have considered it from a lot of different perspectives, and you have identified that you very, very much want something, that energy is moving very fast. So any emotion within you around that subject is more easily recognized by you. When the energy is moving fast, when your desire is very high, and you are a vibrational match to your own desire, which is the same thing as to say you believe that which you want. So there is no contradictory energy within you. Then that fast-moving energy produces the emotion within you that you would call passion or excitement or enthusiasm or joy. That passion means fast-moving energy and no resistance within you. In other words, your satellite is locked on. It is the optimum creative experience. In the same way, however, when you really, really, really want something and you don't believe it, the high emotion then would be translated in your experience into that which you would call negative emotion. It would feel like rage or strong fear or deep, deep depression. So it does not matter whether you believe it or not. When you have a strong desire, the emotion is high. Whether it feels good or bad is the indicator of whether you are in the receiving mode or not. So, it is always accurate to say to you that whatever you are living, abundance or poverty, wellness or sickness, joy or despair, whatever you are living in this moment is a perfect vibrational match to your mode of allowing. Whatever you're getting, that's where you've got your dish focused. Pretend that there are 100 satellites in the sky. Some of them thrill you when you hook up with them. Some of them horrify you when you hook up with them. Some of them amuse you when you hook up with them. Some of them depress you when you hook up with them. But the operative word is you hook up with them. It is your vibrational countenance that is making all of the difference. Now you know everything we know. Now you know everything that is important about any life experience ever. We come forth as a result of your asking, not because your lives are inadequate. We come forth in response to your asking because it thrills us when you deliberately line up with your own desire. It is not our desire to guide your desire. When you made the decision to come forth into this physical experience, you knew that there would be enormous variety that would help you come to conclusions. And you knew that you were then a part and would in this body be a part of a universe that is freedom-based, which means no one seeks to control that which you identify as your desire. Now that's frightening to some because they say, Abraham, if everyone really felt free to desire anything, wouldn't we need to hide out from a lot of them? And we say, we don't think so because everything that everyone wants, no matter what it is always because they believe they would feel better in the having of it. And we've noticed that when you align with that which makes you feel better, when you are really feeling that sweet relief of connection to source energy, no one would ever need to fear you. Violence and all of that stuff you don't want, whether you name it violence or sickness or poverty, pain, all of that is a product of someone being disconnected from source energy. And of course, the word disconnected is much too strong a word. It can never be disconnected. You just get it pinched off pretty good. One of the reasons it's been a little bit difficult for you to get a handle on all of this is because there are two factors that are involved in what makes people feel the way they are feeling. It is the factor of desire, how much focused desire there is, and then the factor of how much allowing is going on. So when you see others having their experiences, it's good for you to step back and acknowledge when you see someone in anger, in violence, in pain, or in sickness, rather than judging the correctness of their desire, which none of us have the ability or right to do. Instead, just stop and evaluate, if you are wanting to be of value, whether they are connected fully to the source of well-being or whether they have found some way of pinching themselves off. As you begin to move through your life experience from this point forward, we believe that you will never again be in a place of not understanding why you or anyone that you are observing is getting what they are getting. You can tell by the things they say and by the way they are feeling whether they are holding themselves in vibrational matching to their own desires or not.